Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wesley the Writer. I am Wesley, and this is a podcast where I share my thoughts and opinions about my writing process, about some of the projects that I'm working on, and just all things writing. So, if that's something that interests you, please stick around, and we will definitely get into some juicy topics. So, this is episode 1 of my podcast. It's really interesting to say that. I am currently sitting in my car doing a recording on a laptop and desk setup that I bought off of Amazon. It's actually pretty cool, and I might just link the the desk and everything that I have in the description somewhere on this wherever I post this. So, I think that it's best now to get into what I'm going to be talking about today. Okay, so I got a couple of topics lined up for today. I'm typically just going to do about 3 topics in the episode. But for today, we're just going to go over the 3 basic questions or 3 basic topics that I think everybody should know about me. We're going to go over who exactly I am, because I'm pretty sure that no one up here knows who I am yet. And we're going to go over what the explanation of the show is. Like, okay, really, I do have things that I'm interested in as far as writing and stuff is concerned. I do have some insight that I've gained over the years as me being a writer. Professionally, I am not a writer, but I am trying to be a professional writer. So I've done a lot of book learning, but we'll get into that later. And 3, what I've in store for this podcast. There are a lot of things I would like to share about things that I like doing in the podcast setting, or I actually have some audio drama stuff lined up too I'm interested in. So without further ado, let's get into it. But first, let's talk about a sponsor. I don't have any. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so moving on to our first topic. My name is Wesley, and I'm a writer. I've spent the last, I can't even think about how long it's been. Since I was like 14, just writing for myself, really. There were periods of time where I wanted to write for other people and, basically just get out there and do the film thing and all that. But, it's been a long journey. I'm 32 now. Well, will be 32 in July. And I'm married to my beautiful wife, Tamara. I have 2 sons. And, surprise, surprise, I got one on the way. That is pretty much it about me, aside from the fact that I am a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ and in God in general. So, yeah. I'm a janitor. I've been doing janitorial work for a long time. Surprise, also, I've been doing janitorial work for the last 12 years now. So, I'm no stranger to cleaning up a mess. And it has been a uphill battle because my boss is my father. And guess who guess who's also my pastor? While having to also be my daddy. Yeah, it's one of those relationships. As long as I can remember, I've spent a long amount of time basically just trying to make this work. Make writing work, make filmmaking work, make something work. And one of the hardest things that I've really come across as far as doing this type of stuff was just the drive to keep going. Well, I can't even say that. One of the hardest things that I've found throughout this entire process has been my relationship with people. And I don't mean that in the sense of me not being able to work with people. I mean that in the sense of people and me having a relationship where they want one thing and I want another. It's really hard to work with people who don't really have a drive to achieve the most out of life that you do. That's not to say anything negative about the people who put themselves in your path. That's just to say that, maybe you two are on different speeds. Sometimes people just want to have fun and go out and enjoy themselves, whereas you just want to go and do the most. Well, to not drag the story along, I've been working on a multitude of small projects here and there. A lot of them have been small things that, you just do because you want to kill time at the doctor's office, or you might have caught some time between classes and you just wanted to jot down some of your notes and enjoy your time, just letting the pen go across the paper. But for me, well, I wanted to do a little bit more, and I had a couple of opportunities that sent me to Georgia, actually, that I enjoyed a lot. That was some small projects, and just getting the feel for what the biz actually entails as far as writing and working on a set of a short film and all that stuff. I just really enjoyed the experience of it all. But the thing is, those things didn't go that far. And, well, here I am. I'm still a janitor. I'm still doing the best that I can do for what I have. And that's it. I'm doing the best that I can do. Because when it all shakes down to it, I'm the only one in this equation that hasn't actually gone and done anything. I let the past dictate what I do, and it's time that I broke away from that thought process. I'm a guy who can write and wants to produce projects. To be honest, I could just blame it on people for the rest of my life, and you don't want the success that I want, so now I have to be angry at you. No, that's not how that goes. And that's not how I expect anyone who I would deal with in the future to think of themselves or me. If they don't want a level of success that I'm after, I'm not going to try to force them into a life that they don't want to live, because at the end of the day, where does that leave them? That leaves them with a bunch of issues that they got to deal with, and they don't feel like dealing with them. Whereas me, I welcome the issues with open arms. So what's been going on with me recently? Well, recently, like I said, I have a kid on the way. We're going to find out the gender soon enough. And, well, I wanted to start up a podcast, so here I am. Funny story about the whole setup. I wanted a laptop for gaming because, let's be honest, I was at 32. I'm thinking I'm an old man. I can't do anything anymore. I'm just ready to chill and let time just slide away from me. Like, I tried back in my 20s to be something that I'm not, or I didn't think I would be, and that was it. I was just gonna be done with it all. But I ended up getting a laptop for Christmas from my dad. He gave me $1,000. I went online. I found a laptop for $1,000 that had a lot of the stuff I wanted for it, so that I could play some good old-fashioned Elden Ring. Who doesn't like that game? Am I right? And I ended up sitting up one day. I was talking with my wife about things, about what I wanted to do with my time, and, well, podcasting just came to mind. And so I started taking small little steps. I bought this car desk, which is an auto exec desk, and it has been a lifesaver so far. I really like this thing. But then, I went and, well, okay, here's the real story behind the mic setup. So, I ended up getting this mic set up because I was a part of a group before. And it was still on the same principle of me wanting to live a lifestyle and do certain things that the people that I was working with didn't want to do. Or at least they didn't want to continue to do it. And so I was like, okay, here we go. I have this mic set up. I have four mics. I forget the brand name. Oh, from Toner. And I have the stands and everything set up, and it's decent. It hooks up to my computer. I get good audio out of this thing, and I'm just really excited to let this thing roll. But the thing is, like, I realized I did not have the proper time to do this stuff. Like, I was sitting around, right, and I was like, okay, how am I going to do a podcast? I work for about 8 hours a day, all the way out, like an hour drive to work, an hour drive back to work. By the time I get finished doing stuff on the job, I'm exhausted. Like, I don't want to do anything, but the passion behind doing the work and writing and doing all the stuff is in me. And so I ended up getting it all set up in the car, and I made time for it. I think that's just really the most important part. It's just making the time for the things you want to do. Because if you don't, then, well, you give your time away to somebody else who has complete control over their time. And they'll just use your time up because it's not bothering them any. And that's not a fault of them. It's a fault of ourselves when we don't go out and do the things that we say we want to do, and we just let time pass away. And then before you know it, we pass away. And then the whole gig is up, So I was done with that thought process, that mindset of blaming people, and I don't have time for this, and I don't want to do this or that, and whatever. And here I am. I'm Mr. Wesley, the writer, sitting in his car at work with a laptop, with a mic set up. I'm going to take pictures of this, by the way, and I'm going to post it. I'll probably post it on, like, Twitter or something. But that's just it. That's what we do when we want to be more and do more. We make the time for it. All right, so we're going to move ahead on to our second topic, which is, what do I really want this show to be, or rather, what this show is? So, what I want this show to be, or rather what I want it to do, is complement my journey as a content creator. I know that sounds like every YouTuber, whatever you've ever heard, and the truth is that's right. I mean, it is the same. I'm not trying to be different in that sense. I mean, I just have a passion for my work, and I would like to put it out. And you could come at me or say things like, we've heard the story before, or, there's no room for another one of these types of guys or whatever. But it's me. And I just feel like because it's me, I have an obligation to myself to do this, not to anyone else. Which is why I think that I'm not doing this to get attention. One of the biggest reasons why I started this was just so that I could get my work out there. And yeah, if people like it, then they can listen to it and they can tell me what they think, and we can move on from there. I don't have a problem with that. If anything, I welcome the collaborations. I welcome the comments. But none of what I do is geared towards maintaining or keeping an audience. I'm doing this for myself. And if I help someone along the way, if I share something that helps you out in your journey, if I inspire you with the work that I do, I'm happy with that. I'm not looking to do anything else other than the sort, or, anything at all. I'm cool with it. I hope you are too. I want to share tips and my thoughts on the creative process. I have a lot of ideas buzzing around in my head all the time. And one thing that I've noticed about myself, though, is that I end up letting that stuff go when I feel really stressed out about life. When I get to like these roadblocks and I can't think straight, or I get really frustrated because it just seems like, I can't find help for anything. You know, I I end up letting that part of me go when I shouldn't. And again, for this to be what it is, for me just to get my stuff out there, to vent and to share my thoughts and opinions and whatever else, this is really just going to help me stay on track and stay focused with that part of myself. You know, I'm not really looking to, like I said before, I'm not looking to appease other people, but I am looking to explain what's going on in my head and try to make sense of all the gobbledygook. So if that's again something you're interested in, well, hey, stick around. I do want to put my work up here, and I do want to get feedback on my work. It's just I don't want to make it seem like that's my full intent is just to pull people and appease people and make people feel a certain type of way, and only cater to like, or just basically water down all of my work and cater to everyone else's critique and all this stuff. I feel like that hurts the creative process because you're not able to express the stories that you need to express if you are constantly worried about what someone else is thinking on the other end of the computer screen. So, all of the social justice and the protests and the politics and stuff aside, I'm more interested in what I can do with my talents. If it comes up to a point where I have to talk about something that's a little harsh, or opinions or share it that might cause someone to think about something a little too hard and they want to just rage against the writer over here, then hey, that's fine. Do what you got to do. But in all honesty, I prefer to put out the work that makes me happy at the end of the day. If that doesn't make you happy, well, then this is not the place for you to listen. All right, so what I have in store for this podcast is radio dramas. I love radio dramas. I have always wanted to be a part of the radio drama crowd and community. So that is what I'm aiming for. I've been a screenplay writer now for 5 years, and I've been writing in the sense of me I basically put restrictions on myself because I've been always trying to fit within budgets and, trying to make sure that I don't overdo things because I'm such a small, I'm just me, and for me just to write, just to put all of my stuff out there, let it all go, crazy. I don't care. Just write it out on a piece of paper. I've held myself back for so long because of that simple fact of me being afraid to express myself openly to the largest degree possible. And what I've came to realize is that when you do something like radio dramas, you're able to get what you want out. And yeah, it's not in a visual medium, but it is the story you want to tell, just auditory. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with having the sound effects and listening to the story as opposed to looking at it. I'm okay with that part. And I would hope that the people who are with me or following along with this journey would be okay with that too, because I really want to put my all into this part of it. And I think that's what's really going to carry this whole podcast is the audio dramas. Not everybody wants to hear me talk for 30 minutes to an hour every day, and I'm okay with that. Like I wasn't really expecting that part. Like it's okay. I'm cool with it. As long as I can put something out that's cool and interesting and it'll catch your attention, all the other extra stuff, just call it my little journal or diary, of just me getting all of my stuff out of my head. And the rest of it is just putting on a show, getting you guys interested for something coming up. And, if you're a big fan of my work, at the end of the day, awesome. I would love to just keep putting it out there for you. And if it's just me who I'm writing it for, like I said, I'm okay with that too. If I'm the only one that's got to be excited for my work, then that'll just be what it is. And I'll just keep putting it out every single time I get a chance. And hey, let's get a library started. Let's do it. I would like to do live streaming. I would like to live stream me writing. I did do it before, but oh my gosh, it was so boring. Okay, so I was sitting up there. I was online. I was trying to do it on like Facebook or whatever, just trying to get some attention because that's what writers do. We like attention. Am I right? No, I'm just joking. It's probably just me. Anyway, I was sitting up there and I was writing. I was trying to do like the whole, okay, and this is what you do for your story circle. And it was like the most boringest thing ever. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I want to live stream again. It probably won't be like, anything extra or anything like that. I might already come into it with a pre-written project that I'll just be like touching up on, and then I could probably get someone's opinions about it. Most likely it'll just be the radio dramas that I'm writing, and I'll get the opinions of the people who join in, so maybe you can have an effect on the story as I'm writing, and then you could hear the parts that you helped out with when we go into production of the thing. Who knows? I feel like it needs to be said that I am a genre writer. I do enjoy writing for genres, but I feel like putting your work in genres is kind of a handicap because it keeps you from, well, all right. I'm not going to get pretentious here, but I will say that I feel as though if you're going to be if you're going to write for film and TV and all that stuff, keep in mind that your piece will fall into a genre regardless, but don't keep that in your mind. Like, I feel like that might just be a bunch of crap. Honestly, and to be honest, I feel like I do well when I think more about the style of how I'm writing a story as opposed to the genre itself. And maybe it's just subgenre that I'm more interested in because I do love psychological horror pieces, and I do like writing psychological pieces. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't redefine a wheel here, okay? Maybe we should just keep genre what it is. But I feel like as you write, you basically can end up writing yourself into a corner if you're just focusing on, like, oh, this has to be a horror piece, so I have to have all these horror tropes and everything has to work out exactly like this. Maybe that's just a weird way of me wording it, but I feel like that's just an issue for me. So I don't really typically stick in my mind like, okay, this is a horror piece. I have to write horror. There has to be a jump scare. The main character has to be, some scared girl running in the woods or something. I don't know. I don't do that. So when I write, I prefer to write stories where the main character is the person who you least expect. The situation is a little bit different. If it is going to be a horror piece, I'm not trying to have the horror like jump right out at your face. If anything, I want you to kind of think like maybe this is a reflection of who I am as a person. Not like, somebody that's what's a good way to put it? Maybe not like somebody or some character who's like, oh, oh yeah, I had this, you know, experience as the main character, so I have to go and do these things as the main character and basically follow the hero's journey. I know, I kind of like to play around a bit and be a little bit more experimental. That's just me though. Don't don't take this like if you're just starting out as a writer, don't be like me because you probably will get lost in your work and you probably might not finish the project like I have a lot actually. Moving on. All right, y'all. So with all that said, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap it up. Just letting you guys know, I did make a game. Oh my gosh. Oh wait a minute. Maybe I shouldn't. I shouldn't close this out yet. I haven't even talked about the game that I wrote. Okay. So anyway, long story short, I made a game, and I did that because I wanted to bring people inside of my work instead of just like, okay, you experienced it. Oh yeah, cool. Another movie, bro. But then I'm like, well, why can't you be a part of my stories as well? Like, why can't I have you be characters in your own headcanon, jumping into the worlds that I create and start trying to solve the solutions and stuff that you come up with? I did this completely D&D style. I have like 2d6 for you to roll, and the process of building your character is based off of my very patented, almost probably M3 system, which I really hope that people can jump on and actually use because I've worked like years on this thing, like literal years, and I'm still working on it. So really, when I end up sharing that part of it with you guys, like the whole M3 system and all that stuff, like, yeah, it's going to be cool. And I really want to make sure that I get that part down for my audience, assuming that I have an audience, so that you guys can start playing games based off, some of the stuff that I create. But also, here's the kicker too. You can use it for whatever other projects you got, right? So like, if you have your own project, if you have a movie that you really like and you want to see if you would fit well in that piece or that world or whatever, like, use it to build characters around the worlds you like and enjoy, tabletop style, Get a group of your friends together, sit at dinner with your family, and just enjoy putting yourself in these worlds. It's cool. Like, I did it a couple of times. I don't have a lot of people to really share it with, so that's why I'm really hoping that I can get a good group of you guys to just jump on and I can share it with you guys. But yeah. Hopefully I can get some good feedback off of that. I would really appreciate it. I'm going to post it as soon as I get it ready to be posted. And yeah, let's see what happens. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to me. This has been Wesley the Writer. I really hope that you guys stick around and keep listening to the stuff that I put out. If you do, that'd be really great. I really appreciate it. Just bear with me in these next couple of months. I'm going to try to be doing a once a week schedule. And based off of the fact that I am recording in my car at work, there are a lot of things that you're going to notice. You might notice like some weird rumbling noises here and there. That's cars passing. You might notice like some louder rumbling noises. That's some metal bins being pulled down by a trash person. You might notice a lot of stuff. So just, again, bear with me here. And I'm going to do my best to finally get myself an actual podcast set up one day. All hoping that things turn out the way I would like them to. But even if it doesn't, I'm just going to keep on rolling. And we're going to see what happens, okay? So, hey, thanks for listening. I really appreciate you guys so much. All right, so I'm going to be getting into how I go about my process. The game that I really hope will be complete enough so that I can share it as a PDF with you guys. And some sample stories from before. I'm going to share some stuff that I wrote and I'll just read it out and see what you guys think about it. So again, I appreciate all the support that you give me. If I get any messages, I'll be sure to look through them or check any comments. If you have any questions or concerns, you can hit me up on Twitter at Wesley the Writer. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. I'm out.